Hey everybody, and welcome back to Minions and Misfits. I know it's been a long time since we've heard from each other. This is the family-friendly, topsy-turvy, off-kilter, actual play TTRPG podcast.
Goofy goober.
Where instead of playing your archetypal heroes, we play as goofy goobers, NPCs, random monsters, mobs, basically anything but the people that you would normally hear from.
The downside of recording early in the morning, people.
My name is Cam. I will be your Jame master for the day.
Master of the Jame.
Dylan is currently unavailable. He's falling through space and time, fighting the Balrog.
Darkness took him, and he strayed away through thought and time. Stars wheeled overhead, and every day was as long as a life age of the earth. You know, night shifts.
Yeah, working the old nose to the grindstone. But I'm joined today by Sam.
Hi!
And Rebecca.
Hello!
And if you're a longtime listener of Minions and Misfits, you know that when it's just us three, that's when Thelka Vengeance come out to play.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Boop, 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 boo.
Boop, 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 boop.
But instead of their usual rule set, we will be playing Sam's own Brave Wanderers RPG.
This is my first time ever playing as a player, not as a DM, so thank you very much.
Yeah, of course. They have already ported Thelka and Vengeance over for the most part, except Sam just recently wrote a little expansion called Virtues and Vices. So we're gonna have them roll up some Virtues and Vices to add a little bit of flair to their characters.
Are we gonna roll them, or pick them based on this pre-existing character?
I think we roll them, and if they really don't make sense, you can re-roll them, is what I would say.
Yeah, that's...
Sounds fun to me.
What I had in mind.
Adding... All right. For those of you who don't know, in Brave Wanderers, you do not need what we're about to do, but if you're a table that needs encouragement when it comes to roleplay, or you just want to kind of incentivize roleplay, Virtues, Vices, and Quirks is kind of a new, simple expansion where essentially you add on one virtue or good thing about your character, one vice, one negative thing, and one quirk, which is just one weird thing, that allows you to gain experience by role-playing. And that doesn't mean doing a silly voice, it just means making a decision in character. And so if you'd like to check it out, it is on the same itch page as Brave Wanderers, and it is also free. So please check it out and let me know what you think.
Yeah.
Yeah. That being said, can I roll the first virtue?
Go for it.
I'm going to roll 2d6s and see what I get. All right. 4 and a 6 is a 10. Discerning. If you correctly point out a lie by an NPC, gain 1 XP.
Kind of.
I think that sounds...
That sounds like
what?
Vengeance.
Yeah, I think that sounds correct. You're up, Rebecca.
That's 2 and 2. That's a 4. Merciful. Oh, if you spared or protected that deserved more severe punishment, gain 1 XP. I feel like that fits.
Yeah, that sounds like
at least
Thelka.
enough, if it's enough.
Yeah.
No.
What
Vice
is
time.
his vice time? All right, I got a 5. Aggressive. If you escalate a situation in order to gain the upper hand, gain 1 XP.
Right.
I don't know if that... Okay, I'll do it.
Sounds exactly
Vengeance.
like Vengeance. Sounds exactly like what you'd expect from somebody named Vengeance.
We realized in building the characters that we're both glass cannons, so this is going to go great.
Woo! Okay, let's see here.
Now, what
Rolling my dice.
kind of vice would sweet little Thelka have?
Ooh. I rolled a 7. Selfish. If you refuse to put yourself in direct danger to help someone in need, gain 1 XP.
Is that sound like her?
No.
She's a pretty selfless person, so you can go ahead and re-roll that.
Let's see what else we can get here. Ooh, that's a big number again. We got a 9. Manipulative. If you leveraged someone else's emotions in order to succeed, gain 1 XP. I feel like she's not that kind of clever.
I would, as the Jame Master, I'm going to nudge that up 1 number to a 10. if you care to read that one out for us.
Oh.
Naive. If you trusted and acted on information that came from an unreliable source, gain 1 XP. Yeah, I think that could happen. I think that works.
Which is interesting because its counterpart is discerning. And so my virtue is completely contrary to your vice, which is how I designed it.
Vice versa. Naive and, or not naive, merciful and aggressive are fairly similar. They're not exactly counterpointing.
Oh, yeah. There's merciful and merciless. But yeah, aggressive is not, yeah. That being said, it's time for the quirk.
Quirks.
Woo!
I'll go ahead and say if I roll a 2, I know that Vengeance is not a jokester. But I rolled a 7, which is a flirt. Which
No!
I think Vengeance is kind of over the romantic portion of his life, seeing as he's now a stoat. 7. So I rolled a 7 again. 7 is going to be really common in this. 10. Kleptomaniac. If you stole an item from a place you visited this session. That sounds right. He's a bit of a klepto. He's always stealing stuff. That track with you guys? I feel like that works.
Yeah, that sounds
Pugilist, I feel like, also fits him.
Uh-huh.
If you attacked an enemy with your bare hands. Let me roll. If I roll an even number, I'll do pugilist. Odd, I'll do klepto. I did even. What'd that say? Pugilist?
Yeah.
Sweet. Nothing better than a sage with -1 strength and +0 dexterity to be a boxer. This is going to work out great for me.
With those little forks of his. If I may also pick one, I feel like a lot of these don't fit Thelka, but one very specifically does, and that's number 8. Traveler.
Uh-huh.
If you picked up or were given a memento to remind you of this adventure, gain 1 XP.
Yeah, that sounds like her.
Cool.
And with these, it's kind of a once per session thing. So even if you do the quirk or the flaw or whatever more than once, you just gain 1 per session. So to be clear,
That tracks.
if I'm a pugilist, if I hit 5 people with my bare hands, I only gain 1. Just
no XP farming.
Although it'd be interesting to try a game where that was a thing, because it's like the flirt.
Punch.
As many people you flirt with, the more you level up. The jokes are the more jokes you make, the more you level up. So it is a way to instantly crash a session and just go all out ridiculous if you want to make that a side rule, I suppose.
Each player, each table plays different.
So I know it's been
What
a
are we
little
playing
while
today?
since we've seen Thelka. What's she been up to since the last time we saw her?
Well, last we saw her, she was helping a new friend, find their little brother. He'd gotten, I believe, dragged down into the sewer along the river Stanks by a monster. Thelka just about died, but she was dragged into the magical sewage and returned back to life, but a little messed up.
This, of course, being the adventure of Thelka, Rollo, and the River Stanks.
Which, it's interesting because we'll probably release this episode next, and so this will be the direct sequel to the Thelka and Rollo
But it's
adventure.
been months. Ooh.
We recorded that in a while ago.
September, November.
Probably November,
Remember.
and now it's the end of January. So
When we
we're coming out with season 5 soon.
in November.
Season 5 is coming. We have 1 episode in the can. We just want to get a few more before we start releasing it. So be patient.
Yeah, three quarters of us are preparing for parenthood, and that just takes up a lot of time. But today, we're going to find out where the River Stanks spat Thelka out. And guess what? It's swamp. It's exactly where you think somewhere called the River Stanks would end up.
Ooh, we gotta do the intro, don't we? Say, now we're gonna begin the thing.
Oh, so we have the intro song. Cue the theme music.
Cue theme music.
Already said it. So now Sam should say it.
Roll it. We're a little out of practice.
It's We all stayed up late last night, and it's almost 10 a.m. We normally record in the late afternoon, so
I should have made coffee.
I have dipped into my collection of fun little adventure booklets for one by our friend and yours, Micah Anderson, called The Batrachian Swamps.
Ooh.
Twisting channels
Sounds
of
like
murky
trachea.
water. Soggy fractals of rotten plant matter and black soil. The whine of mosquitoes and swoops of bats.
Ugh.
A heavy gray sky like a humid woolen blanket. And over it all...
Ah, yes, Florida.
And over it all,
Dun, dun.
the dumb, accusing stare of amphibians. Welcome to the Batrachian Swamps. Thelka, you awaken... where else but at the end of a sewer pipe. While you've been unconscious in the river Stanks, you've floated down and down and down and ended up at the end of it, which unfortunately is not much better than where you fell in.
I imagine that, like, Vengeance is, like, canoeing using his fork as the paddle and, like, the helmet as the, like, canoe.
That sounds right.
While Thelka is just slowly floating on her back, her face just above the water.
Yeah, so was Vengeance with her, or did he just find her? Has he been searching for her?
I like the idea. So based on where we were last time, I think the connecting line between the stories would be we were exploring the River Stanks and something went horribly wrong. And so I like the idea that, like, I'm poking her away with the fork. Like, wake up!
Rolo?
No.
Jurgen? What happened?
It's me, child. And he puts his paws on her face to, like, wake her up.
Just like jiggling her cheeks.
Where are we, Vengeance? What happened?
You exploded the pipe, child.
Oh, is everyone okay? Did anyone get hurt?
He kind of jumps on her chest to, like, get the last bit of mud out of there. I think we ought to fine. I don't want to kill off Rolo in absentia, so I imagine that they're fine. They're somewhere.
Yeah. I imagine after she came back to life, there was a great flood of the river Stanks that swept her and Vengeance away, while Rolo grabbed Jurgen, the guy we were rescuing, and managed to get him to high ground before we were swept away.
That's fair. I like that.
Thelka will sit up in this, like, waist-high muck water, and she'll go to, like, rub her head, and then pause, and start touching all over her head, as I believe, it's again been months, but I believe after her resurrection, she lost all her hair.
Yep.
She doesn't scream, but her mouth is open very wide, and her eyes open very wide, and a high-pitched sound is emerging from her.
Vengeance, I feel like, is frankly quite used to it. I feel like every time you wake up, this is a thing.
I don't think it's ever been this bad. I think usually she's, like, scatterbrained and talking real fast and, like, trying to analyze what's going on, and now she's just broken. Getting grievously wounded. Oh, we can fix it. We can go to this, that, and the other. Her hair gone. It's over.
Child, focus on me. Focus on my eyes. He puts his paws over your mouth and, like, tightly holds them together. Your lips. Child, you must stay calm. And he kind of gives her a tiny slap on the head.
It's just kind of a little bip.
Boop, boop. Almost a nose boop, just boop.
Yes. Like when a cat just kind of gently touches you with their paw. It's a little bop.
Which he meant to be kind of like a slap in the face, like a wake you up, but he's a stoat with -1 strength, so it really is cute more than anything. One of the downsides of being a stoat.
Right.
That being said, he just says, I'll figure this out. And he turns, and you said that we were being watched by amphibians?
Yeah, there's frogs and toads all over the place.
Well, I have an ability that's called Talking Animal, because he's a talking animal. It says
Whoa.
I can converse and then attempt to command other animals. So I can converse, and they don't have to, they're not under my control at all, but I can talk to them. And I just turn to it, and Thelka just hears like, I can't do a stoat sound. Yeah. Anyway, where are we?
Sounds.
Saw, dude.
A saw. Where are we, friend?
I see you know the traditional amphibian greeting.
Naturally, my years of wandering have taught me well.
You are a wise one indeed.
I try, and he kind of gives a little bow.
Welcome to our swamp.
Well, I hate to intrude, but is there a way out of your swamp? No offense meant, of course.
I'm sure there is. I've never bothered to try. It's my home, you see.
It is quite a lovely home for you, but my friend and I do not belong here, as I'm sure you know.
Well, you could try going north, or you
What's
could
north?
try going south. You could probably try going west. And now that I'm thinking about it, you could probably try going east, too.
Ever the diplomat, or actually, nope, I'm discerning and aggressive. So, where is the nearest patch of dry land?
Well, you see, that's a tricky question. Up towards the north, you got the Tower of Ulk.
Ulk is the sound you make when you look up at the ominous tower. Ulk.
You know what? Now that I think about it, that's to the south. There's the Salt Wizard's Fort. That's probably got some dry land. That's a little farther up north. Oh
That
yeah,
doesn't
there's
sound promising.
There's the tower. There's a tower. We call it the Star Crawler. That was a weird one. Oh yeah, there's the Gator Drake lair. You probably don't want to go there.
Gator Drake. Oh, man.
Yeah,
Oh no.
I mean, he's a cool guy and all, but he didn't really like warm-blooded things. So,
Well, because I'm aggressive, I go up and I kind of grab what would be his collar and go, which one's the safest?
it's just like loose amphibian skin. His demeanor doesn't really change. He's sort of slow blinks, like one eye at a time at you. Oh, well, if you're looking for somewhere safe, I mean, there's a tavern. I don't know. We don't really measure things around here, but it's pretty close.
Where is it?
Close.
Is it well, if you take a little bit of north and a little bit of east, and you kind of mix them together a little bit, and then maybe take off a little bit of north, that should get you there.
He kind of lets the skin go. Does it just go back like a rubber band, or does it fall down limp and then slowly go back?
That one.
Like a bag of ooze.
Yeah, it's sort of it stays pinched, and then just kind of slowly flattens back out.
He says, "Thank you, my friend. I apologize for my behavior, as I am aggressive."
That's some quality role-playing, Sam. Good job. Gold star for you. Have you done this before?
It's all about the yes and, friend.
At this point, Thelka has managed to stand up and then sees her leg, which the flesh is see-through to the bone up to her knee, and she's been just kind of poking at it and mumbling about it, and it seems to almost be grounding her a little bit from the hair situation. She seems a little more herself. She's like, is this... The flesh still seems to be here, but it's not physical, but it's physical, it's tangible, but it's not visible? Is it maybe the connection to the underworld? Maybe it's existing somewhere in the underworld of this realm? Could it be if we... And she's just going on and on and on to herself as you come back.
What is the path to the tavern? Is it mud? Is it basically like?
Yeah, you're wading
is it,
through like between
is it
knee
more
and waist deep water.
Is it swimmable or is it walk? Is it like walk or swimming?
It's more like swimming.
Okay. In which case, he's gonna go over to Thelka and kind of like tap her on the forehead, tap her on the shoulder, tap her on the other shoulder, and tap her like on the clavicle, and go, "Here you go, child." And he's gonna cast Alter Friend. And can I give her like gills and fins temporarily? And what that would do, it decreases a particular environmental effect. Basically, she can navigate the swamp pretty easily, is what it would do.
That's fair.
All right, sweet.
You may do that.
Casting.
She immediately coughs as she starts breathing through her gills, and then she like slaps her hands over her neck for a second, like holding her nose so she doesn't breathe through them.
I forgot what gills actually do. Dang it. That's pretty... Oh, crap.
Look, I can still breathe through my other. This is just weird. Okay, but this will work great. Thank you, Vengeance.
Of course.
Appropriate enough,
Which direction
she's
are we
now
heading?
amphibious.
Whoa.
Ooh, animal trait.
And now she's gonna do that thing that we all do when we're in the shallow end of the pool or at the beach, where you like use your hands to crawl along and let your legs kind of go behind you as you pretend you're a crocodile or an alligator. She's gonna just slowly make her way along the swamp bed. Well, I guess she needs to come back up for air fairly regularly for Vengeance. So now that I have this beautiful mental image, actually she's just gonna swim.
Ooh, I have an idea. Because I gave you your ability to be amphibious, can you use a supply to give me a small rope to pull me along in the helmet?
Oh, that's a great idea! I love that. Yes.
All right, sweet. Okay, cool. So I'm kind of... It's almost like I'm tubing with it.
Yeah.
Yes, just slowly tubing.
And trying to navigate, but it's not really working.
You guys do manage to make it to the tavern with relatively little difficulty. It turns out it's actually pretty close by.
Oh, sweet.
So the frog was right. A little bit of north, a little bit of east, and then a little bit less north.
Thelka will try to wring out her clothes a little bit before they approach, and she's like, again, starts touching her head and looks very anxious, and she's just like,
So I guess this is a question about the world. In the world of Brave Wanderers, talking animals are pretty normal. In this world that you're creating, Cam, are talking animals normal, or is it very odd?
I wouldn't say it's very odd, but it's not like dime a dozen, see one every day kind of thing. But people know that there's such a thing as talking animals. They just haven't always seen one in person.
All right, sweet. He's going to put his cloak over his helmet and kind of help walk in.
That'll make him look like less of a scope.
Thelka is shivering from cold and just general discomfort with the changes that have happened, and hugging her like soaking and like loose and tattered clothes around her as she stumbles up to the door with her little stoat friend.
You have found the Flying Tierce Tavern, as referred to on a dark wood sign illuminated by some sputtering gas lamps, depicting 3 winged rabbits connected by the ears. The building is hoisted out of the water by 4 stilts.
Please tell me Tia Telma is in there?
No.
Oh.
The stilts that hoist the low, fat building out of the water are crusted thick with ages of black mud. There's a small staircase leading up out of the water. And there's 2 canoes parked at the base of the steps.
How are they? Are they tethered there with like a rope?
Yeah. There's like a horizontal bar that kind of like you would tie a horse off to.
Hitching post.
Yeah, there's a hitching post.
Is there a way, because I feel like this could go south, is there a way for him to like... Nah, probably not. Never mind. Because even if they follow us on a canoe, I feel like a swimming fish is faster than a canoe. So...
Probably.
Yeah.
Up we go.
As you tromp up the steps, and trying to get as much of the mud off of you as you can, which is easier when you haven't just been wading through it. You've been swimming.
Just sad and wet.
Right. Picking
Puppy dog coming in after rain.
Right. Picking strings of algae and duckweed and things like that off of yourself.
Yeah.
The inside is cozy enough. It's a little dim, but there's a fire. There's a gentleman behind the counter currently cooking something. You can't really tell what at first glance. And there's, at a table, a gentleman in a very nice linen suit. Kind of picture like a wealthy New Orleansian.
Please do a Cajun accent for him.
Uh-huh.
Please do a...
He's just absolutely dripping with sweat. He's currently, he's banging on the table with a knife and fork. Garçon, when are you going to be finished with my bat stew?
Amazing!
And the guy behind the counter is like, just hold your horses a minute. Jeez, you know it's a stew. It takes a while to make. And then
Thelka's gonna squelch up to the bar.
Squeak, squeak, squeak.
I feel like she's lost a shoe, so one just has a sock at one foot.
I think Vengeance is going to take off his helmet and look a little bit demure as Baguette, like just kind of normal talking stoat, not warrior mode. So he kind of has like a cloak with like the hood taken down and in a tabard. And I feel like the helmet is like really large and hanging like in the hood or something like that.
Uh-huh. The owner, having glanced up from the stew to yell at the gourmand, notices Thelka for the first time. He's like, when did you come in?
Oh, just now. Do you have any dry clothes for sale in this not clothing store? Possibly.
He kind of like looks at her, looks at Vengeance standing on the bar, and then looks back at her. He's like, I think I can scrounge something up for a soul in need. Just give me a minute to set this stew. He like adds a couple of random herbs and spices.
This is way better than the gator drake.
Oh, you heard about the gator drake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you know of him, friend?
Well, it can climb stairs, I'll tell you that.
Oy.
Thankfully, it doesn't come around here all that often. The light keeps it away for the most part.
It can climb stairs, but it doesn't like light. Wait, gator drake? What's that?
He kind of goes to a small back room, and you hear him shuffling around for a minute. And he brings back some folded clothing items. I don't have much, but this ought to at least suit you while you dry off what you got. It's
Thank you.
sort of a cloak / dressing gown / smock kind of. Mm-hmm. Nothing that you would want to continue traveling in, but like you said, it's at least enough to wear while you dry off your clothes.
I just had a realization that I was supposed to roll a new sorcery action and object.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, same, because I'm now level 2, right?
Yeah.
We're both level... Oh,
Level
cool.
2. So, hey, what if we rolled these and we don't tell each other and it'll just be a surprise?
Okay.
I like that idea.
Let's see, I got a 5.
All right. And then that one is... I already have that. Sweet. I got some stuff that's really going to help in this adventure.
Ooh.
I like how that may or
I
may
did
not
too.
actually be true.
I think it will.
Okay.
I think you'd be surprised. Mine just says transform Gator Drake, and so that
Mine says
Niche. I
befriend
can't believe you
Gator
included
Drake.
that in the rulebook.
you can't be too careful, man. Gator Drakes are everywhere.
Well, Thelka reaches into her pocket to grab a notebook to take notes on this information, and she pulls it out, and it just like sloughs in half as it's been soaked this whole time.
Oh no.
She just looks at it, and she just looks so sad. And she says, "Please excuse me a moment." And she's gonna go to whatever restroom there is and change.
Yeah, there's like a small back room.
Do all the
I think
maintenance.
at the risk of totally destroying all the spell points I have because I only have 3 left, I'm going to go ahead and Vengeance Baguette, who I gave him a last name. I think I'm going to call him Baguette Bernstein, is going to use Sculpt Ooze to kind of sculpt your book back into the right shape, at least, so that maybe when it dries, it'll not be separate.
Okay.
Kind of paper mache, honestly, at this point.
Aw.
It is probably held together with something like glue, which could be considered an ooze.
Yeah.
And I like to think that a practical person like Thelka would have written her notes in a waterproof ink.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, she's probably got a backup notebook that's waterproof. I just had the very funny picture in my head.
There is like basically an indoor outhouse. It's just a bathroom with a hole that just drops out of the building and down into the water.
No more sewers. That's good. Yeah, she'll just change. She'll put her clothes out to dry and come and join them to get this lore drop about the gator drake.
While she's doing that, and I imagine Vengeance is kind of curled up by the fire, just looking around. Can I roll investigate to see if I can kind of pick up any clues about this place?
Sure. Is there any particular type of clue that you're looking for?
So, investigate is an action in Brave Wanderers, where if I roll a certain amount, I can get to ask you questions about the location.
I see. Go for it.
All right, I rolled a 7. +2 is a 9, which means I can ask one of these questions. What here is not what it appears to be?
Ooh.
To be honest with you, this is a pretty surface level, like, it's pretty much on the up and up, this place. There's nothing.
Okay, cool.
Neither the gourmand or the owner are really suspicious. The gourmand seems focused on getting his stew, and the owner just seems intent on, for some reason, trying to run a business in the middle of a swamp. But people got to get through from one side to the other, and they got to stop in the middle. So hey,
there we go. Okay. Well, I think with that being settled, Vengeance kind of untenses his back.
Yeah, there's very little in the way of danger here. Although Vengeance has not said anything yet, has he?
No.
Okay. When Thelka,
I think he's kind of scanning, but he did sit in the chair kind of anthropomorphically.
Okay.
So
I thought he asked about the gator drake.
Oh,
yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Okay. And Thelka comes back out, and the gourmand is still banging his silverware on the table.
Nothing like having one customer who's banging their fork on the table.
Mon ami, where is my stew? I'm coming, I'm bringing your stew. He slings some into a bowl and chops it on the table in front of him. The gourmand takes a small sip of stew and a bite of bat meat out of the bowl. Is like, oh, now that makes the jackrabbit slap the bear.
In her newly repaired notebook, Thelka writes a note. Jackrabbit slap the bear. Very animal phraseology.
Jackrabbit slap the bear equals good? Question mark. The owner kind of turns to Thelka and is like, so how exactly did you end up here?
Oh, a sewer pipe.
Would you be surprised to find out that that's not the first time I've heard that?
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
We're looking to find our way back to some sort of a form of civilization. But any idea how we could get there?
Well, you're pretty much, I hate to say it, in the exact middle of the swamp. You're a little bit closer to getting out from the east, if that's what you're aiming to do. I'm trying to think of what would be out to the east. Like, if you get out of the swamp to the east, where does it lead?
A
Ooh.
city,
You're s-
eventually.
You'll still be miles away from civilization, but
You know what you can do, Cam? You can go to page, what is this page? 30 of Brave Wanderers and roll a map making check to see what there's going to be and who's going to be there.
let's do that real quick.
You can roll a landmark, a native peoples,
The native peoples.
a region, and a type of forest folk if that's the type of people who's there.
What page did you say that was on?
30.
Oh, I see it right here. Mapping your game. Let's see. Get the old dice tray out.
To the east is a...
Oh, well, that's not helpful. To the east, there is barren wilderness.
Probably not what we're looking for.
Well, we'll be able to find our way out to some sort of civilization eventually, but we could
Yeah.
really use a good night's sleep and some time to recover. Is there anything we could do for you in return for some time staying in your fine establishment?
He rubs his chin. Well, I'm running pretty low on ingredients. Mostly I'll cook any animal that anybody brings to me. And he kind of slightly glances at Vengeance. He's like, seeing as how that's a talking animal, I don't think that's what you want me to do.
And he kind of goes...
We could absolutely find some non-talking animals for you to cook. I heard you mention that you cooked bats?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we'll see if we can find something with a little more substance for you.
Well, like I said, I'll cook anything that anybody brings to me, and he like sticks a thumb out towards the gourmand. He's like, and this jerk keeps bringing me weirder and weirder stuff for me to cook.
And I feel like Vengeance kind of sneaks up where the gourmand can't see him with his fork, and he's like, "Have you ever cooked a man?"
Not yet. I can't say that I have.
He like rears up to stab, and I feel like Thelka probably grabs him back.
Like gently pinches him by the scruff and pulls him back.
Puts it back in the chair.
Well, we could do that. If you wouldn't mind us having a quick meal, we could go out and see what we can find. I'm sure there's some good fish to be found.
Sure, there's still some bat stew left, as long as you don't mind, bat stew.
Oh, I'll eat just about anything. I just swam through a river of stinky poop water, so I think I'll be fine.
Well, that's a good attitude. And he slings some more stew into a couple of bowls and sets them in front of the two of you.
Sweet. While the characters are I guess eating, I didn't realize this, but at level 2, which is what Vengeance is, I also gain a calling ability, so I'm going to gain Sleuth, which is when I search for clues, I can do so quickly and while on the move, and I can always tell when someone is lying, though I may not know the cause of their deception. Okay.
Well, it's time to sleuth us out a big old fish. We're going fishing, boys.
Fish. If you're going to go fishing, you're probably going to want to be careful because the catfish around here are big.
That will be perfect. We'll get you lots of meat.
Well, actually, sorry, nope, never mind. Sam knows some stuff about catfish, but Vengeance doesn't, so never mind. That being said...
Would it be all right if we borrowed one of your canoes?
Absolutely. Just try to bring it back in one piece, if you please.
I will do my absolute best. Let's go, Vengeance.
I feel like you're still pulling him out.
He's like just about to jab the gourmand with the fork. He's like winding back.
Well,
To the canoe.
it's fair to say that your gills and stuff have worn off by now.
Yeah.
Based on the rules of this book.
Yeah.
So.
And your
a good
clothes
thing we have a
and your
canoe.
clothes have dried. We'll say that you guys took like an hour and a half, 2 hours to just sort of get yourself back together.
Recoup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her scarf's nice and dry, and she's got it wrapped over her bald head, which has been pretty cold. She keeps poking that invisible leg.
Is it like a turban?
Not a turban, more of a shawl. Not quite as snug as shoot, I'm forgetting the word. You know.
Have you ever seen Christmas Vacation? There's one scene where the guy's in the attic and he like puts on a woman's like headscarf, and that's what I'm picturing.
Yeah, I don't know if that's it, but like a headscarf. I'm forgetting the term. My brain just keeps going burqa, but that's the full getup.
Hijab?
Hijab, yeah, not as snug and secure as a hijab, but like a headscarf, you know,
Yeah.
wrapped around, all pretty like.
Okay, I got you.
All pretty.
Just
Like
got,
the guys in
headscarf
Skyrim.
and sunglasses, like she's on Sunset Boulevard or something.
It's just all mud. Instead of palm trees brushing by, they're all like just really nasty pine trees or whatever. Like they're all just really
All the
gnarly.
droopy willows and the
Yeah,
mangroves.
mostly willows and cypress.
Champion trees with their knees up.
As has been mentioned, you guys are pretty much in the exact middle of the swamp, so you got any direction you can go in. And I'm shrinking the scale of this a little bit because in here it says hexes take 1 day to cross, but that doesn't quite make sense for
We don't have that kind of time.
Right.
Our adventure's almost up time-wise.
So we'll say
Oh no!
we'll say each hex takes about an hour to cross.
All right, Vengeance. Time to sniff out a catfish.
Which direction are you guys going to travel in?
We came
Hey,
from
can I-
south, so let's go east or west.
Can I use my sleuth ability to
Yeah.
try to sleuth out where the best catfish would be, even though they're bottom dwellers?
Sure.
Okay,
Roll for, well,
I
how about
guess-
you roll for me for it?
I'll roll investigate. How about that?
Yeah.
Is that easier? All right. Come on, big money, big money, big money. Oh no! Oh, that's not good money. I got a 6.
Uh-oh.
I got nothing.
All right, yeah.
Rip.
So
I got nothing.
as it turns out, catfish live in. Vengeance tries to search his knowledge about catfish. He's like, if I know anything about catfish, it's that they live in water.
Thelka will try to guide their canoe towards deeper water, and she'll take some of leftover bat stew. And I don't remember the like spell point system for this.
You have to so it's on your calling page. You have to roll.
Okay, so I
I
get infinite stuff. Things can just
Yeah.
go badly. Yes.
I have spell points that work automatically. You have to roll in order for your spell to work, but you can do that infinite times.
I'm going to try to solidify ooze and solidify a chunk of this stew to use as bait.
Girl, we both have ooze spells.
Ooze. Ooze. Ah. Okay, let me go to sorcery and make sure I roll this right. Okay, just need to get a success. Amazing. It was 2 6s.
Wow.
I solidify this ooze so solid.
This is just so solid you don't even know.
Solid.
You destroyed the entire swamp.
You have solidified the 1 mile area around the boat. No, you successfully solidify your hunk of stew.
I'll tie it to the end of my staff with that bit of rope from earlier, and I'll toss it out into the water. I think this is
Ooh,
how you fish.
I will say that according to the rules of Brave Wanderers, you'd have to use another supply, but I'll let you use mine because you let me use your rope earlier.
Aw.
I mean, you still
ahead.
have the rope from earlier.
Oh, that's true. Whatever.
All right.
Ultimately, the Jame master masters the Jame.
The Jame.
It's true.
But that isn't a
I am
a
the
thing to
master
note
of this
its-
Jame.
I'll keep my supply then.
Heck yeah.
Thank you.
Now what do we do, Jame master? How do we get the fish?
Roll. There's not like a luck roll or anything in Brave Wonders, is there, Sam?
I mean,
There's
could
a skill.
just-
There's a skill called catfish fishing.
Huh.
Not really.
How convenient.
I wish.
Like, once again, this
No.
is like you read the adventure beforehand.
There's not.
there's survival.
You could.
Yeah, check for survival.
I don't have that skilled, so
Or
I'll just roll
check
it.
for int.
Mind?
Yeah,
Mind.
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 A mind.
Oh, I rolled 4.
Oh, no. Can I attempt to roll mind as well? Because I'm
for
pretty
it.
good at it.
Yeah, you don't get a bite.
Ooh.
And
10. I rolled a 10, which is
Nice.
a success.
it is a success.
That being said, I'm also a small stout.
Right.
Complication, combining both of our things.
Right. So, roughly how much do you reckon the two of you weigh combined?
Little.
Not much. She's a string bean, and I am a literal oversized rodent.
You're not a rodent, you're
next-
a musculid.
Next
Oh, that's
question.
fair.
And
I'm probably like 20 to 30 pounds max.
next question.
Oh, I don't think you're that heavy.
No,
I think you can fit
stoats,
in my hand.
stoats probably barely weigh it. Like a couple of
It's like a
ounces.
small weasel.
Yeah, they're little.
I have a lot of
Smaller
forks.
than ferrets.
Well, he also has a helmet. I'm also counting the helmet.
You weigh 5 pounds.
Oh, no.
You're like 5 sticks of butter.
Next question, and feel free to treat this entirely hypothetically. How much do you reckon something called a dire catfish would weigh?
Probably a lot more sticks of butter.
So, you do successfully get a bite, and then a pull, and then a harder pull, and now
is
all
what I
of a
was hoping
sudden,
for.
now all of a sudden, you guys are holding on
Whee!
for dear life as your canoe is dragged through the water in, I'm gonna say, a totally random direction.
This is perfect.
All right. I'm going to grab my marble, and I want to cast Sculpt Ooze to, like, sculpt the ooze below us into a ramp that goes up to hopefully, like, launch the thing into the air. Can I do that?
Yeah.
That's a terrible idea. I'm so excited.
All right. I kind of I water bend the water below our boat to like launch the catfish up in the air, kind of using its own momentum against it.
All right. Roll me a d6
Oh no, 6.
and another d6.
Oh no, a 6 again.
Okay. So you
Hopefully that means best case scenario.
you have so your spell succeeds, but your improvised ramp launches the catfish and following it
No,
up
Yeah.
and over.
We're all tubing now.
I'm aggressive.
And as you fly through the air, you see yourselves rapidly coming up on a strange metal tower or spire in the middle of an open lagoon.
Okay, we're coming in hot, huh?
Yeah, coming in.
I would
hot.
like to cast Shrink Force
Okay.
to reduce our momentum so we'll land softly.
Okay. Yeah, so the catfish just like smacks into the water. Just like
I rolled good.
like a huge cannonball. And you guys in your canoe just like splish splish. It's just-
Gentle splish splash. Is the catfish still alive after it hit the water like hitting a cement floor?
let me see.
Can we see the catfish?
You see it hit the water. Yeah, we'll say the catfish is it like hits the water, and then you guys splish, 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 and then you turn around, and the catfish just floats back up to the top.
We caught it! We caught a fish, Vengeance!
Oh, this might be okay. Before Vengeance realizes the fish is dead, because evidently he has no knowledge of fish, he like throws off his forks and his cape and his helmet and dives into the water like Batman style to attack the fish.
He's just like stabbing and jabbing it. It does not respond even a little bit.
He's just punching it. Like he's just punching it. He's not even stabbing it. He's just punching it. He's wrestling that catfish.
You're doing great, Vengeance.
So he attacks an enemy with his bare hands.
Right.
It never stipulates it has to be alive. But
I feel like if it's dead, it's not an enemy.
ooh,
I'm gonna
Because it's no longer
that's
a threat.
fair.
I'm gonna toss the rope to Vengeance for him to tie up the catfish so we can pull it along behind us.
He does so.
And I'm gonna glance towards that shine of metal we saw earlier.
Well,
Because
you're,
Thelka can't help herself.
you're pretty close to it. I'm going to show you a picture of it.
Ooh. A weird looking tower.
It looks like a spaceship or like a
It looks
submarine
like a
almost.
submarine sticking out of the ground, yeah. Vengeance. Look
Ooh,
at that.
Can I roll investigate?
You absolutely can.
Can I roll
it-
lore to see what I can figure out?
It doesn't matter. I got a 6.
You can.
I should look at the moves and figure out what exactly rolling world lore will do.
You can roll lore because you guys have gotten some information about this place, so there may be something relevant in what you've learned.
Can I tell which of the towers this is? Because you named two towers were named to us, like the Starcrawler and the other one that there was like the Salt Lizard Camp, Gator Drake, and then there was one other tower that I don't remember what it was called.
Oh, I may have said tower, but it's actually the town of Ulk, not the Tower of Ulk.
Oh, we should have gone there.
I rolled a 9.
Nice. So as best you can tell from your conversations with from what Vengeance has told you that he learned from the frog, and then what information you were able to gather while you were at the tavern, this appears to be the Tower of the Starcrawler.
Ooh.
Sweet. I want to go to this one.
I'm gonna make a character roll. 1 second. Does she know what a spaceship is? No, she rolled double ones.
Good, because if you had asked, I probably would have also said no.
Look at that! That doesn't look like any form of architecture I've seen on this world yet.
No, it doesn't. Are there any nearby frogs?
I mean, yeah, there's frogs all over the place.
He kind of looks over and says, "Asa,
Saw, dude.
can you tell me about this tower, friend?"
Well, it's been around here as long as I've been alive, which, has been
2 or 3 years.
right. Been around here since before I was even a tadpole.
Again, 2 or 3 years.
Right. Us frogs, we don't really go in there because it's all, hard and dry. We usually prefer stuff that's soft and wet.
What have you seen come in or out of there?
Well, we've seen some people come in and not come out. We don't really see much come out and go back in.
What kinds of people, friend?
People like yourselves. Randos that get lost out here.
That's fair.
No offense.
Nah, that's fine.
But you did fall out of the sky, so, that was pretty random of you.
That's true. It's true. Hey, you wouldn't happen to be my enemy, would you?
I don't think so. I don't know you.
Dang.
Thelka's hand slowly comes into the shot and she picks him up by the scruff.
He is just looking at his fists.
These fists were made to punch.
These fists were made for sucking.
Well, Vengeance, I know we need to get back with this catfish. We don't have a whole lot of time before the sun sets, but maybe we could just take a peek at the tower?
What were we getting in exchange for the catfish again?
Just some time there at the...
Yeah, this is just something you guys took upon
it was just
yourselves.
paying for our room, instead of totally taking everything as a gift.
So can we hook up the canoe with the catfish in or around
Already
it?
done.
Yeah.
And so, okay, sweet.
Yeah,
So that's stable and everything.
There's branches, there's all kinds of stuff sticking up out of the water that you guys can moor the boat to.
All right, sweet. Let's do it. Shing shing! He gets his forks out and puts his helmet on. Baguette has become vengeance.
A little text on the screen. Baguette has become vengeance. Yeah, so it takes a little bit, but you guys eventually find an opening large enough to for the two of you to get into. It's the inside is in slightly better shape than the outside is by virtue of being protected from the elements. It's dark. There's no light.
Can I use supplies to light a torch?
Yeah.
All right, that torch is lit. Or a lantern. I think a lantern is kind of more in the
gas
flavor.
lights were mentioned.
Yeah.
So I think we got a little kerosene lantern that Thelka can pull out of her sack and Vengeance can light with his supply.
All right, so you're in a metal-clad hallway. Everything's a little topsy-turvy, it seems like. This thing, whatever it is not oriented the way that it's supposed to be, clearly. It's not meant to be vertically up and down like this. So movement is kind of slow-going. But there's enough handholds and footholds that you're able to sort of navigate your way around.
Ooh, can I roll another investigate? Because I'm a sleuth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, sweet. I got a 10 plus 2 is 12, which means I get to ask 3 questions from the investigation list.
Awesome.
Sweet. Okay. What is about to happen?
Man, it's a powerful question.
I know.
Whom amongst us could say they know what is about to happen?
I guess it's more like could he tell the consequences of like stepping in a certain place or opening a certain door?
So you haven't seen any signs of life.
I guess the better way to put it is like, what are the immediate dangers?
Well, the immediate dangers are falling down this long corridor and hitting whatever is at the bottom. There are some rooms that you could duck into, so you're not just hanging on in the middle of this hallway. You do hear some movement coming from different areas, but you haven't seen anything yet. The movement kind of sounds like boots on metal.
What here is not what it appears to be.
The whole darn thing.
Fair. And then what here is useful or valuable to me?
Well, there's a lot of like gewgaws and whatsits that you don't really know what they do, but they seem pretty exotic and like they would probably be worth money to somebody.
Would you say who's its and what's its galore?
Yes. Who's its, what's its, doodads.
Whatchamacallsits?
Yep. Some of those too.
Sweet. All right. I feel like he's trying to like, if it's in my mind, because I'm pretty sure it's like a spaceship, but Vengeance has no way of knowing that. I feel like he's grabbing the most shiny but inexpensive thing. Like there's a plastic button that he's trying to rip off. Like it's just
Careful. We don't know what that's for. We have to be very careful with strange foreign artifacts like this. You never know what harm you might cause.
A button.
She's gonna go pick up something.
A button, you say.
You are wise, child. I shall listen to you. And it's just like is a button that has like a nuclear reactor sign on it, and he just chooses to not push it.
Thelka did not hear that bit about footsteps down the hall, so she's just going to continue walking forward, or, making her way forward over the uneven ceiling floor, and rambling on about what potentially things could be. Perhaps the use of all this metal for some sort of ceremony. Maybe some sort of dwarvish culture or other culture that has a lot of access to mining and reverence for crafting. On and on and on and on.
As you wander around with Thelka, just like wondering at the possibilities of what this is, without realizing it, you bump into something. Once you hit sort of a more horizontal space, it looks like it might have once been an elevator shaft. from our perspective. You guys don't. Thelka has no idea what an elevator is. But Thelka, without looking, bumps into somebody.
Oh, excuse me.
And she looks up and sees a weird, exotic-looking suit of white armor. Although it doesn't appear to be made entirely out of metal. It has some hard plates to it, and then there's some softer areas that appear to be like some kind of strange fabric.
Is there a helmet?
There is a helmet. Do you want to know what's inside the helmet?
Is it a skeleton?
It is a skeleton.
Oh.
Dibs! And he kind of like goes for the helmet.
Well, after she bumps into it, it sort of, the arms of it reach out and grab her by the shoulders. It does. Oh. It's not carrying any sort of anything that you could identify as a weapon, but it sort of like grabs you and kind of shoves you out of the way.
Dibs! And he launches himself onto it and punches it.
Yeah!
You hear the soft noise of paws hitting glass.
Which can I roll an attack?
Yeah, you can roll.
Tiny ineffectual paws.
He rolls an 8, which is damage halved, basically. And so he rolls. Okay, it does nothing because he did 1 damage halved, rounded up. So he does like 1 damage,
right.
Not even.
Whatever this.
But he did attack it with his
blade.
bare hands.
Is it seeming to still be aggressive, or did it just move me out of the way?
No, it seems to be. Now that it's pushed you out of the way, it seems to be walking in the direction that it was facing. It doesn't actually seem to be aggressive.
Oh, excuse me. Is this your tower?
I imagine while you're trying to converse with it, Vengeance is like actively like pulling a Yoda from episode 2 and constantly like jumping around it and punching it, but to no effect.
It's just not doing anything.
Bonk bonk.
It does not respond.
So not an undead that can speak. All right.
Right.
Can you understand? If you can hear me or understand me, raise your hand.
And Vengeance raises his hand.
Very good, Vengeance.
It does not raise its hand, but you can see on its back there's a small black. How would Thelka describe this? A small black square, and inside the square there is a blinking emblem or icon.
Ooh.
It appears to be a red triangle with rounded points and an exclamation sign in it. It's sort of blinking, and there are some.
Shall I roll lore to try to understand what the symbol could mean, or does she just understand it's like danger, danger?
Yeah, just understands it as danger. There's no other glyphs or anything that you could really interpret, but
Is this a button or just a sign?
it's like a screen,
Okay.
Oh dear.
like a readout.
So it's just got that warning, flashing light, nothing else that she can decipher.
And then all of a sudden a voice rings out from above and around you. It's not loud, but it's like coming from, it's a disembodied voice. It says, "Oh, he can't hear you. He's dead. Been that way for a long time."
Oh,
Vengeance starts punching the walls. Ineffectively.
Yeah.
oh, well, yes, but he could move me aside. Death is not always the end. But who are you? Are you also dead?
Well, I don't think you could ever have considered me alive. My name's Hank.
Hello, Hank.
How should I put this to where you'll understand it? I'm in charge of this place. At one time, it flew through the stars, but I've been stuck here for longer than I was made to be able to count.
Oh.
Hank, be man, beast, or spirit? And he kind of has his fork out, almost like in a rifle position.
If those are my 3 options, then I guess the closest thing would be a spirit. I haven't had a lot of time to talk to people like you, people from this place, but the best way for you to think of me would be as a spirit. You could call me the spirit of the tower.
Well, Mr. Hank, is there anything we can do to help you while we're here? This tower does seem to be, and you mentioned it used to fly through the stars. It seems a little grounded.
Dang it, Bobby! I wish I had that was.
When you just ask him that, his tone changes like dramatically. It's like, I would do anything to get out of here.
Oh, well, let us know what we can do.
If you can get to the bottom of that corridor that you came through and help me turn on the engines, I will do literally anything to get it off of this stupid, gravity-ridden rock that I've been stuck on for longer than I can count.
So, hey, I have sleuth, which means I can always tell a lie, even if I don't know why the person's lying. Is there any lies here?
No, he seems positively desperate to reactivate whatever the engines are and get out of here.
Well, we'll do our best.
Just watch out for more of those guys. They used to be my crew. They're dead, but the suits aren't. Let's put it that way.
Oh. Some Doctor Who stuff going on here.
Spooky ooky. We'll head towards the engines, following Hank's directions.
He kind of guides you down through the corridor. I want each of you to roll me a d6.
Oh boy.
Ooh, I got a 1.
5.
Okay, you got a 1. So as you're guiding through, there's some emergency power, basically. But as you guys are wandering through...
Would you say we're brave wandering through?
Yeah, you're
Bravely
wandering. Let me see. How many hit points do you guys have?
I
got
15
11
now.
Okay.
Bro, how?
Hardy.
Ah.
After the last adventure, I was like, I think this fits.
So as you guys are
Our
wandering
body's a little more
through Vengeance, a small slot opens in one of the walls and you get zapped by electricity for 2 points of damage.
Dang.
And Hank is like, oh, yeah, sorry, I didn't know that still worked.
Is he lying?
No. He's been stuck so long that it's hard to tell what he does and doesn't know. Imagine an AI that has been designed for one thing and has been deprived of that one thing for, like he said, literally longer than he was programmed to be able to count.
sad.
He continues to guide you. You pass by a doorway. It's sealed, but you see the suit that you saw earlier, the walking suit, walks up and it clumsily it's slapping a button on the wall, but it doesn't appear to be doing anything.
Oh, hey, real fast. Is the electricity affected by armor?
I mean, if you're,
I feel like that would get through.
are you wearing metal armor? Is your armor made of metal?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just get, I mean, it's not like a big zap. It's probably like the last little bit of energy that was left in whatever that thing was. But yeah, like I said, you see that that animated armor sort of trying to get into this door. But
Thelka will
the door is
sidle up
like
beside it and
sliding
slap the
a little
button.
bit, and it's kind of stuck in the middle of like an opening cycle.
Let's see. Maybe while it's moving, can I do some shenanigans? Because the spellcasting word force just invites all kinds of shenanigans. I'd like to try to melt force, and when the door is moving forcefully but not effectively, I would like to melt it.
Okay, roll for
Question
it.
mark? That's a 9. That's a success.
All right, yeah. So you managed to kind of like awkwardly combine magic with the technology of the door. He just managed to get it to slide the rest of the way open, and the suit sort of stumbles inside, and inside there you can see several more of the suits. None of them are moving, but they do all have skeletons in them.
Yeah.
Sad.
And Hank pipes up. He's like, yeah, those suits are designed to return here if anything happens to the wearer. And there's a bunch of them all over the place that have been trying to get back here for a long time. Unfortunately, there's not really much that the med bay can do for them anymore. Them being, desiccated skeletons and whatnot.
How long have they been dead?
Since we landed
Longer
here.
than he can count.
Are their bones completely dry?
At this point, yes.
Oh. No ooze in there then?
Not that I'm
No
aware
ooze.
of. But again, I don't have perfect readouts on anything anymore.
Well, what should we do to get your engines?
Engines.
Close enough.
Your genes.
It's just a little bit farther down the corridor. Just look out for more of those little zaps. I don't know how many of those are still working. They're supposed to be a security feature, but listen, I didn't build this thing. They just put me in it.
Can I
We'll
attempt?
see if we can get you out.
Can I attempt skullduggery and or acrobatics to kind of stealthily stealth through the hall?
Yeah.
Stealthy stealth.
Stealth. All right. Ugh, not good. Okay, I fail.
Okay. Let's see. As you guys are walking, the closer you get to the engines, the more lit things are. Like the emergency power is still lingering in parts of the ship closer to the engine. And all of a sudden, a small... It looks like... Roughly what century would you say this is in terms of our world?
The spaceship or us?
You guys.
We seem to be existing in
We pre or post
someplace
gunpowder?
with gas.
I
Post, but not common.
See, I was feeling like we're like kind of D&D type world where it's like anything that's really convenient is there.
Okay. So in describing this, it looks almost like the handful of times that you've seen a black powder pistol, but obviously a little bit less primitive. It's more sleek, and it's sort of a metal tube attached to an arm.
Can we eject the warp core?
And Hank is when it lowers down from the ceiling, Hank is like, "Oh, you're gonna want to watch out for that!" And before he can finish saying it, it shoots a beam of light at you. Roll 2d6. Both of you.
Am I trying to in this there's also dodge or endure when you can try to like negate damage from an attack. Which would it be? Or are you trying to do it?
Probably dodge.
All right. Oof, I fail.
4 also fail.
All right, you each take 3 points of damage.
Ouch.
Does any armor kind of withstand it?
Yeah, your armor does withstand a little bit of it.
Okay, sweet.
You can subtract your armor value from that. And he's like, "Oh wow, that still works." Yeah, sorry about that. Those are motion tracking, so hold still for a second. And you hear like some whirring and clicking from where the thing is, and it just like folds itself up and back into the ceiling.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it like falls on the floor. It just like
Just breaks off.
Right? No, you hear the whirring and the clicking, and it gets stuck trying to fold itself up, and then it just falls out of the ceiling. It's like, I wasn't gonna need that anyways. Just a little bit farther, almost to the engines.
All right.
And after a couple more minutes, you get to a door with some... It looks like writing, but it doesn't look like writing you guys are familiar with. And he's like, all right, behind that door, that's where the engines are. You're roughly at ground level, so I think they're probably flooded. But if you guys can at least restore a connection, I can maybe eject most of the water.
We'll do our best.
Vengeance hops on Thelka and once again casts Alter Friend, which makes her amphibious.
Hey.
Pew. Hank's like, how did you do that? How are you doing that?
I got special powers. I'm a talking stoat.
I'll be completely honest with you. I just assumed that was normal.
Oh, I get it.
He
Called me normal.
Pat.
You'll probably have to force that door though, so I'm not going to be of much help of you.
I'll use my last spell point on you, Thelka. I'm gonna once again cast Alter Friend. And so I can temporarily add +1 to an attribute, or you can benefit from a skill or ability, or easily circumvent something that would normally be an obstacle. For just a minute, I'm going to make her super swole to try to bust down the door. Is that allowed?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, sweet. I'm out of spell points.
All right.
Vengeance looks kind of like tired and a little bit bereft.
Oh, thank you, Vengeance. Don't worry. I'll get us through, and we'll have a wonderful fish fry when we get back. All right.
Do you have a crossbow or anything you can lend me so I can cover you?
I have a staff.
That's. I'll hold it. Just.
You know what? Just go.
She's gonna breathe and she's gonna center herself and drop into a bit of a martial arts stance, and then she's gonna punch the door and try to make a dent that will allow her to get some leverage and push it open, or just knock it off, just break straight through it with this buffness she's gained.
As soon as the door breaks, your arms go and just go back to the normal size.
Makes the.
It was nice while it lasted.
Hello, noodle arms. And
I imagine Thelka being drawn in Adventure Time style, that's how noodly she is in my mind.
Right.
Aww.
So, like Hank said, it is flooded in there. Basically, as soon as you get that door open, it's. At this point, you're standing at kind of an incline, sloping down into the water. So the ground is like this, the door was like that. So you've moved the door out of the way, and now you've got an incline, like a ramp down into...
Now we can slide down. Hold on, Vengeance.
My name's Hank,
Right,
thank you.
Oh, well, yeah. That's my little stoat friend here.
Oh, right.
I'm Thelka.
I'm Vengeance, and he kind of takes the helmet off and looks intently at the ceiling and goes, Baguette Bernstein.
Pleased to make your acquaintance. Now, when you get down in there...
Yes.
The engine is going to be the big thing in the middle of the room. I don't know what all is damaged. There's probably a few different connections down there that need to be restored. I'll do my best to guide you, but you're not going to be able to hear me well underwater.
Well, I have a good memory, so I'll pop back up and listen, and dive back down. And with these skills, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. She goes.
So it's pretty dark and murky, but part of being an amphibian is being able to see it down there. I do want you to roll me a d6.
D6. 5. Lots of 5s tonight.
Okay.
And by tonight, I mean this morning. I'm tired.
So after a little bit of poking around, you do find on this large structure, you'd find a small door that's kind of bent open. And inside there are a couple of things that look like they should be connected to each other, but aren't, based on the little bit of info that Hank gave you before going down.
I will do my best to connect them back together.
All right. Yeah, those ones go pretty easily, but nothing seems to be happening just yet.
Back over the surface.
He's like,
what next, Hank?
Okay, so that was the capacitor. So about a quarter rotation around clockwise. Do you have clocks? Whatever.
Oh, yes. Yes, we do.
Go to the right of where you were and up, and there'll be a connection there. It's bigger. I think there's a guy jammed in there. I think that's the problem with that one.
Is that all?
So that should probably be the next one that you target.
All right. Go give it a try.
Roll me another d6.
That's a 6.
Nice. Yeah, so far you have not encountered any hazards. There's some fish. You see some tadpoles and stuff swimming around in there, but thankfully no dire catfish seem to have found their way into the engine bay. And just like Hank said, you do find your way around, and you do see one of those suits, again with a skeleton in it, although it's a little bit goopier, having been underwater this whole time. It's just like jammed in between these two large turbine-looking kind of things.
Oversized windmill?
Try to pull him free.
All right, go ahead and make us a strength check.
Oh boy.
Noodle arms.
That's 5 total after a -1.
Jeez.
All right, so yeah, he's stuck in there pretty good. You may not be able to get him out with brute force.
Let's see. He's oozy, you say?
He is oozy.
Let's shrink ooze.
It's hard to dry out
There
when
we
you're
go.
stuck underwater.
That's a 10 to shrink ooze.
Nice. So yeah, the ooze that was once this person's body shrinks, and you see the suit sort of like become floppy and empty.
And I pull it away and make the space.
Yeah. So now that there's nothing filling the suit, you can basically I assume Thelka carries like a knife or something. You basically can just cut the fabric free at this point. And suddenly, where this dude was stuck, the small fans, the things that look like windmills, start to slowly turn. And as you get towards the surface again, you can tell that the surface is farther down from the top of the ramp than it was when you dove. And you kind of start to hear Hank's voice as you get closer to the top of the surface. It's like, great. I'm pumping out some of the water. There should be one more connection left to make.
All right.
This one's going to be around to the back. I don't know what it is that's in there. I think it might be alive, so just be careful.
Oh, hey, Hank.
Yeah.
With this all over, can I have one of the helmets?
Sure, man. I'm not going to do anything with them.
Sweet. Can you get ejected or something out there so I can get it on the way out?
Why don't you take the one that she just freed from the turbines in there?
Oh, that's all
carry it.
gross. Oh, okay.
Oh, we'll wash
okay.
it off. It'll be fine.
Okay. Bunch of fresh ones back there, but whatever.
Oh, and you said your name was Thelka?
Yes.
So you look like you're suffering from like pretty bad radiation poisoning or something. There should be like an emergency rad kit mounted to the wall inside of there next to the engine. Feel free to take that. That might help.
Okay. She'll go fiddle around with that.
So you find it's
Tries to act very chill while grabbing it.
right nonchalant. Does not know what a rad kit is.
Radiation.
I love radishes.
Yeah.
Some of the emergency lighting inside the engine bay has started to turn on. On the wall, there's a sort of metal box mounted to the wall. It has like a clasp on it, and there's a light blinking above it. It looks like that might be what Hank was talking about.
Yeah, she'll give that a go. See what's inside.
It's full of a bunch of... Everything is wrapped in some kind of shiny material. It almost looks like if somebody were to make fabric out of metal. But it's a bunch of assorted little things. There's labels on them, but again, you can't read whatever language this is.
The arcane is ever a mystery.
And as you find your way back around to the back of the engine, you see that there's it's not a dire catfish, but it's a pretty big catfish. It's like almost as big as Thelka's torso. And it's just sort of like flopping now that the water is starting to drain out.
No.
Even more stew.
His tail has gotten like stuck in a vent.
Oof. I'll try to free him real quick on our way to the final thing that we need to do.
All right, yeah, it flops into the water, and then from this side of the engine bay, you can see the water is being pumped out. So the fish just gets like swept away to wherever the water is getting pumped out. And then you see a large panel with a bunch of switches and a big button under a glass case.
Is this what we need to do next, Hank? Press the button?
You hear... So there's some... Now that the water's gone, you can hear Hank's voice. But wherever it's coming from apparently has not held up as well as where his voice usually projects from. So you just hear... Switch. Third switch. Press button.
Third switch. She'll flip the third switch. Press button. And she'll press the button.
And all of a sudden a voice rings out. Not Hank. This time says, criticality in 10 minutes. And you hear Hank's voice from outside. This time I said, don't press the button.
No!
Well, I'd love to stay in chat, but you guys have 10 minutes to get away from here or you are going to be vaporized, so...
What about you? Are you going to be okay?
Oh, yeah, no. This is exactly what I want to happen, but I'm about to... This thing's about to launch really hard, and...
All right. Let's get going.
Can you use any mystical powers to help us? I.e. transport us or something?
He said, yeah, look to your right.
Huh?
You see that little thing sticking out of the wall?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Grab onto it.
Okay.
Grabbing.
It's like a handle sticking out of the wall, and you grab onto it, and it slides along a rail back up the corridor.
Woo! Woo!
And it zips you both up to where you came in, the opening to the outside. It's like, love to stay in chat. See you guys later. I'm going back to space. Woo!
Bye, Hank. It was nice
Bye.
Thank you for the helmet. Whee!
And you
Goodbye,
guys
Hank.
jump back out the hole and land in the water.
Get in our canoe and start paddling away.
Ski paddle out of there.
And approximately 10 minutes later, you guys hear the loudest sound you've ever heard. Like an explosion that's lasting way longer than an explosion normally does. And then you see the tower lifting up into the sky. Slowly at first, and then faster and faster until it's faded into a small dot at the end of just a enormous pillar of smoke and steam.
Do you think
We did a
they left
good
lot
thing
of...
today, Vengeance.
Oh, yeah, we did. Do you think there's like a lot of cooked fish where it was like,
We might as well check.
let's go, woo!
And I feel like we cut back to the tavern where there's more people and frogs eating lots of fried fish.
Yeah, the gourmet.
Very charred,
Right.
very charred fish.
And Thelka is opening up these weird foil packets, trying to figure out what's up with that.
And thankfully,
I
there's like a sticker on the inside of the lid that sort of has pictorial directions.
So what, does it help her recover everything or just like one of the symptoms?
It
Like,
helps her grow her hair back.
I was imagining it just fixed like the leg and the eyes situation, and her hair
Yeah.
would take time.
Yeah, like her stubble is starting to grow back on her head. The leg, the leg, that's magical.
She's Britney Spears.
Radiation medicine is not going to fix that. But yeah, her eye is like unweirdified, and the hair on her head is slowly starting to grow back.
I feel like this is after the party and everything, and she's like happy to have her hair back, but she's still looking disconcertedly at her legs. And Vengeance looks like is inspecting it and using his sagely abilities and sleuthly abilities to like look at it and says, some things can only be fixed by magic, child.
And she's kind of like mindlessly rubbing at the stubble that's suddenly grown on her head as she looks down at it and says, I guess it's not the worst thing.
Meanwhile, the gourmand is just chowing down on a bunch of like
rocketfish.
Dire catfish cutlets and irradiated frog legs. And he's just like, oh, mama, that's good. But yeah, that's another adventure in the books for old Thelka and Vengeance.
Thelka and Vengeance!
Oh, man.
They haven't gotten out of the swamp, but they're at least better off than they started.
Which means we get to gain experience, right? Because...
Yeah.
I'd say Thelka was pretty merciful.
Oh, yeah. I was a pugilist and I was aggressive. But did we help someone in need of help?
Yeah. I would say Hank counts as someone in need of help.
Mm-hmm.
Did we thwart evils that threatened the good and the innocent?
No.
Catfish.
Oh. Catfish.
Dire catfish.
Yeah, but it was only threatening you guys, and I don't know if you count as good and innocent.
Oh, did we have fun?
Yeah.
You're darn tootin'.
Yeah. Oh, man.
As the Jame Master, I will declare that fun has been had today.
Huzzah! Huzzah!
Well, thank you so much for jamming, Kim?
Jamming with us.
Jamming.
Yeah.
Thanks for mastering the Jame.
Hey.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I was glad to do it. I love a good Thelka and Vengeance. And I was hoping that you guys would end up at the spire. So when you rolled your D6 followed by a D6 for being launched by the catfish, that literally, you guys were, the tavern was here, and you got launched exactly to where the ship was.
Yes!
Amazing.
Well, folks, if you want to check out Brave Wanderers or the new expansion, Virtues, Vices, and Quirks, those links will be in the description, as well as any audiobooks to listen to the voice of our lovely Rebecca. We will hopefully be releasing Season 5 pretty soon. We have a lot going on, so we want to record a few episodes. That way we can be more consistent with it. But rest assured that it is coming. In the meanwhile, we'll try to at least put out episodes intermittently until that is a thing.
Yeah, and if you would like to find the adventure that I used, the Batrachian Swamps, it is written by Micah Anderson and Nate Treme, Treme.
Real cool.
And I believe it is available on itch and through various sources as a physical booklet.
Cool looking.
And we'll spell out the word Batrachian in the episode description.
Yeah.
But thanks for listening. Like and subscribe and all those good things. Oh man, I hate when I say that, but it does help.
Tell your friends, tell your family.
Subscribe. And have a happy new year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, happy
Our
New
first
Year.
adventure of 2025.
Oh yeah.
Here's to many more.
Here, here.
Hey everybody, Cam here. Thanks for listening to Minions and Misfits. If you like what you heard, don't forget to check out our socials. The links are down in the description. And please, leave us a review on whatever app you use to listen to your podcast. It'll help us reach more people who can enjoy the episode that you just listened to. See you next time.